Hey guys, it's Xlizandria X, and you know what type of content I like to make. I like to make vlogs, talking videos, TV show commentary, and movie commentary. And yes, I'm filming 2 videos in the same day today. So if you see a video of me in this look, just know it's like an hour or hour and a half later since I filmed the other video. And if I keep looking over here, I'm actually uploading the video that you guys are gonna see in my other look. That's why I keep looking over, just to make sure my computer's not going down.
I keep eye on it. No, I've been having some time trying to upload on the computer. Because one of the Friendships and Total Drama video, that was uploaded straight from my computer. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that is the quality that I typically film in. But back when I was like uploading from my phone, it would always like from my phone, it always
downgrades the quality of the videos. I don't understand why that is. But yeah, so today I'm gonna be talking about a show. As you can read the title, yeah, I probably never thought I would end up watching. I was not ever planning on watching this show, but one day I'm like, why not? Even though the show has been out for literally like 6 months. And that is Hype House. I don't have any outlines for this video. I just want to strictly talk about how I feel about the show and everything like that, and just talk about what things that I know about the Hype House. I remember when the Hype House first came out in 2019, back when TikTok really just, after its like full transition from Musical.ly and when it's TikTok, and just Hype House just blew up tremendously. It was in its heyday. And if you guys know who Dylan is in Trouble is, that makes my ears look weird. Oh my gosh. But Dylan is in Trouble, then you would know, like, oh my gosh, he is so funny. But was it Dylan is in Trouble? But he did a review on the show, and I was just dying laughing because he's absolutely hilarious. But basically, I think I was watching so many reviews, but I think someone said the Hype House probably would have been a better show if they would have made it a show when it was in its heyday, so literally December 2019 to February 2020, because once March 2020 hit, no one was watching the Hype House anymore. Like, we didn't really care too much in the beginning, but people really stopped caring when the pandemic
that was so country
when the pandemic hit, so no one really cared about this show anymore. But so I guess like the Hype House just didn't make sense anymore. So yeah, and then the show, so now I'm gonna just get into like the show. So the show was one of the most painful things I have ever watched in my entire life. I definitely like the people who make edits of the show a lot better than the show itself, because it's not as fun as the show actually is. Like, you know, like people on YouTube that make like the funny edits of like television shows, I like that version of the show way better than just sitting down and watching it on Netflix, because it was one of the most painful things to ever watch. My first thing watching the Hype House for myself as a person, aside from like everyone's commentary, is that this show, I don't know how Netflix thought it was a good idea to pick this show up, because it was nothing interesting. Like, it's basically it's like basically stuff that we kind of already knew about the Hype House. So basically, you know, they don't have any managers, you know, they're supposed to be this collective group, and once people grow out of it, people leave the Hype House. And I cannot believe Thomas has the nerve to say that we helped people like Charlie, Dixie, and Addison blow up, when in actuality Charlie didn't need you. You needed Charlie to help the Hype House blow up, because if it wasn't for Charlie, I don't think anyone would know who the Hype House is, because Charlie was hanging out, I remember back in 2019, that's how Charlie was hanging out with a lot of people who were previous members of the Hype House. So Addison, you know, the Lopez brothers, and Avani, and just all these other people who made up the Hype House. And so that's why I think Charlie kind of gotten into the Hype House, because she was hanging out with people in the Hype House. And like I said, if it wasn't for Charlie, the Hype House, no one will probably know what that thing is. Maybe a couple of people on the internet, because some people are just like that, but for the most part, I don't think anyone will know what the Hype House is. the show definitely did seem all over the place, considering the fact that they had to cut out a lot of stuff because of the situation with, you know, Jack and Sienna. So a lot of the situations in the show just seemed very off-putting, and you can tell they had to edit out a lot of the stuff because of the situation. And obviously good on Netflix part for not like allowing Sienna in the show anymore, but and obviously Jack only being in the show for like 0.9% of the show he was in it, so I think they did a really good job with that. But other than that, but it did leave out, I think it did leave out a lot of context what was supposed to be put into the show, because I think the show was supposed to just have more of it, but because of what they had to do, that's why we really couldn't get the show that we were expecting from the Hype House. Because, you know, Jack and Sienna were supposed to be main characters in the show, but because of the things that have happened, they're not main characters in the show. And like I think you only see like Sienna like once, and that's like her when they went to Joshua Tree to do like the little TikTok thing, and like that's the only time you see her. But other than that, you don't see her in the show like any other time. So I want to talk about, like, basically it is nice to kind of see them, like, you know, open up and talk about things that happened to them in the past and everything, because I feel like a lot of influencers don't ever really like to talk about where they come from, because I think it's very different, because you would think a lot of these kids came from money, when in actuality they never came from money. They didn't come from money. They just wanted to basically live the lives that they never lived growing up. And you can definitely see this a lot with Alex, considering the fact that Alex wants to do everything he can, since as a child he grew up in a toxic household with an alcoholic and abusive mom, and his dad passing away when he was only 9. You can definitely tell that he's basically trying to live out his childhood dreams, and it kind of hurts to just see, especially, and I know some people just like that. I think that's just his way of like coping with the whole situation with him as a child, basically laughing through situations and trying to live the things that he never lived out. But I have to address how the fake wedding that he had with Cover, I see, look, because if my boyfriend ever did that to me, we will not be dating anymore, because the way Alex played with Cover's feelings like that, I don't understand how, baby, how? Well, like, because this is something that Cover wants. Like, Cover wants to get married to Alex. She wants to settle down and have children with Alex, but Alex is obviously not ready for that. And when he sees his views declining, he has the quote-unquote bright and smart idea to actually plan a fake wedding. Like, what? Knowing that this is something that Cover actually wants. So that does not sit right with me in any way, shape, or form. Always getting down on one knee and pretending like he's actually gonna propose to Cover. I don't like it. So yeah. I can definitely tell with this show, the producers always are trying to nitpick, especially in the beginning. The producers were always trying to nitpick at Charlie and Chase's relationship. And first of all, why are you in the business of 18-year-olds? Like, I just will never get social media. And shout out to Ariana for saying this. I think one time she made a post talking about leave famous people alone, whether that be your favorite TikTok influencer all the way down to an A-list celebrity. Leave famous people alone. Leave them alone. Even all the way down to your favorite YouTuber. Leave them alone. Like, I don't understand. Like, if someone doesn't really want to talk about things that had happened with them in the past and things that have happened, they have every right to not really necessarily talk about it. Even if it didn't happen in the public eye, they shouldn't have any right to bring it to the public eye when it never happened in the public eye, you know? And I can definitely tell during those interviews in the confessionals that Chase was in, he was very uncomfortable answering those questions about him and Charlie, even though it was him going through some heartbreak. And you can tell he was really uncomfortable and he did not like it. And they would definitely push to basically force him to answer these questions about him and Charlie. Like I said, it was, and I remember, oh, don't even get me started with Nikita, because the dinner, remember, like, well, y'all don't remember, but there was a dinner party that they had, and Nikita had brought up Chase and Charlie, and Nikita was like, why aren't you two a thing? Okay, then why are you sitting over here? First of all, it always kind of rubbed me the wrong way because Nikita is 25 years old. You are grown. Why are you in the business of basically fresh children? Like, children that are, like, because Charlie was 17 and Chase is 18. So you're basically in the business of children. Like, that was very sus to me. I didn't like that. Like, I don't understand. Why was she doing that? Like, that was just really awkward to me. Like, that's something about that when I saw the show for myself, just in the business of basically high school graduates and you're 25 years old. Come on with this. Come on. Like, next, I guess, seeing and then also thinking about Thomas, basically understanding where Thomas is coming from. I understand why Thomas is so stressed out about the Hype House, and I guess I can give him a tad bit of sympathy for the things that he has to do, because he really wants this brand to work. He's trying his best. He put a lot of thought of it, inspired by the house that he was previously in, Team 10, with, you know, Logan Paul and everything like that. I understand that he wants to create his own empire and basically be an entrepreneur and be a businessman on his end of things. It just basically, but it's not working out in his favor because no one is doing the Bang Energy videos. I don't understand. It's just not that hard to Bang Energy. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why it took them, why everyone was being so lazy to just, because honestly, the Bang Energy videos pays the rent for the house. Like, if you don't do the Bang Energy videos, y'all gonna get kicked out and evicted. So I wasn't understanding why, and so I understand why Thomas was just getting so frustrated with everyone. And then when there was that Joshua Tree, he just basically broke down and cried because just things weren't working out in his favor. He really wants everyone to come together and be friends again. But I think Thomas's issue is that he's so worried about being everyone's friend that he really can't balance between friendship and business because he wants to be everyone's friend so bad. Okay, guys, I think I want to talk a little bit more about Hype House. So this is basically a part 1 video, so just stay tuned for part 2.